Welcome everyone to the Sci-Fi Queens podcast, where we celebrate all things sci-fi, except today. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We are going to be talking about mental health and its importance in our life. And we have today uh, wellness coach, mental health coach, author of Inner Care, A Simple Guide to Coming Alive, and founder of the wellness brand, Moments with Z. You're going to see his Instagram scrolling at the bottom because by the end of this show, you're going to want to follow him and get his book. Because really, what are you doing with your life if you don't get that book? People, welcome Zhi Wei Zheng to the Sci-Fi Queens. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. Oh my God, what an introduction, Nita. That was wonderful. I feel so welcome. This is awesome. Wow.
We're a little bit louder here, but that's okay.
Yes, speak the truth. I love this.
So tell us a little bit about yourself before we begin talking about your book.
Yeah.
Tell us who you are. Okay. I kind of know who you are a little bit, but
Yes.
I want you to tell the audience about yourself so that when they get your book, and they will be getting it, they know who they're reading about.
Yeah. Oh, you're so kind, Nita. Genuinely, you're so kind. A little bit about myself. Chinese immigrant, that whole story. But I actually do have a connection with sci-fi in the sense that I started in software development, have a degree in computer science. I love technology, love technology. But somewhere along the way, I felt very depressed as if I wasn't living my purpose. And I was like, I got to solve this issue because I don't know what's going on. Everything looks good on paper. So I started seeking out like different ways to cure my depression. And I found plant medicine, traveled all the way to the Amazon jungle, believe it or not. And then I got to work with shamans and they gave me plant medicine and it triggered a spiritual awakening that just helped me saw like, oh, we're not teaching about inner care and health and wellness in school. And yet I know how to find the hypotenuse of a triangle. You know, I know all these strange math equations, but I don't know how to regulate my emotions. I don't have a healthy relationship with myself. It's like all these things. I didn't know how to be human. And to me, human, this experience, like we are the most advanced technology, you know, to connect it with sci-fi, we are the most advanced technology, and yet we don't have a manual. So that's where this book started. Yeah, this is where the book came from. It's just like, oh, I really want children to learn how to regulate their emotions so that they can grow to be healthy, regulated adults. How awesome would that be, you know?
That would be incredible if schools taught that as part of their curriculum of their feelings, how to identify them. Because I remember not knowing, well, I don't know how I'm feeling. Don't ask me that. What name does it have? I just felt like crying, or I just felt like laughing a lot. Like nothing really had an identifier to it. And that really kind of stops you from really growing and maturing at a pace that you should be. Because when you don't understand your own feelings, how could you possibly understand the world around you clearly enough?
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's where like empathy comes in, right? Like when I understand my feelings, I have a better way of understanding your feelings. But if I can't even understand my own feelings, how can I empathize with someone else who's going through something challenging? You know, I hear that 100%.
Yeah, and it's so important to understand and embrace mental health. I mean, I don't know how your environment was, but that was not spoken of in my environment. Mental health doesn't exist. That's for other people, and there were categories, and those, you don't fit that category, so no. And the methods of dealing with your feelings didn't work because it was all about suppression, ignoring it, and layering it on with things that just hide who you are as a person,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you went to the Amazon, were you terrified? I'm terrified just about to hear the story. I mean, that is a far away place to go.
Yes, I can't tell you how scared I was. I mean, like, it took me 2 years to work up the courage to even go. Like, it was that scary. And I had to ask my childhood best friend Hien if she would go with me. She was sort of like my comfort blanket, something familiar in an unfamiliar space.
Yes.
And
Hmm.
terrifying, absolutely terrifying. I mean, if you'd like, I'm happy to share the details of the story. Um,
Go right and whatever you're comfortable with. We are
okay.
here to be in your
Oh,
business.
oh, I love that. I love that. You can ask any questions, and I am a total open book.
Good.
So where can I begin? Let's see. I'll tell you about my most challenging night working with the plant medicine. And just for some context, I'm a very like analytical minded person. So when the shamans started talking about like, oh, there's like this plant that we use in our culture for multiple generations, and we believe there's a spirit in the plant that's there to help you heal, I wasn't on board immediately because
You didn't
you
jump that
know
bandwagon right away?
no, no. Because you're talking about spirits to a guy that like went to school for computer science. I'm all about logic. I'm all about provable
Yes.
reality. But when I finally like drank the medicine, like not 5 minutes into it, I started hearing the spirit communicate with me clearer than when me and you are in person talking. I was like, whoa, I'm actually hearing this. And one of the first thing it said to me was simply, you don't know how to use your mind. Where you come from, they don't teach you how to use your mind. And I was like, huh, like, what do you mean by that? And it's, they further elaborated. We're taught to memorize facts. We're taught to memorize information, but we're not taught to how to actually control our mind. How do you focus?
Yeah.
I wasn't taught how to focus. I was just told, just focus, Z.
To
Pay attention.
focus.
Just
Yes,
just
you're
focus.
told to do it. They don't tell you how to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And now in retrospect, it's like, wow, this belongs in our school.
Yeah,
Children deserve this information. Hey,
absolutely.
I had to travel to the Amazon, and I don't wish that upon anybody. It was a very challenging experience, to say the least. I had to go through a lot of mental anguish. Um, and it turns out I just had to heal the relationship with myself.
Hmm.
Um, I was self critical. It was like I started hearing all my own self critical thoughts amplified. It was like, you're not good enough. You'll never find love. Everybody's going to laugh at you. You're a joke, and you'll never deserve anything better than what you have. You're never going to find a person for you. It was just like so self defeating. I was legit in like the worst night of my life. But the medicine was just simply highlighting and amplifying what was wrong with the way I use my mind. It's sort of like a doctor kind of
Exactly.
just like pressing on you, just be like, oh,
Exactly.
does
Hmm.
this hurt? Does that hurt? So it all
Yes.
flared up. And I'm gonna take a pause here because I feel like I've been talking for a while. If you have any questions, give me some space.
No, please tell us your story. We absolutely want to hear it. Go right ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, Stardust Kai says, often we are our worst enemy.
Yes.
That couldn't be more true
Yeah. That's
because how we talk to ourselves is often how we see ourselves.
hmm
So if we're talking to ourselves with unkindness and just in a cruel way, and really just, oh yeah, I don't look good in this, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not this, and that is just an unkindness. That's like
mm,
self-abuse that we
hmm
need to learn to regulate and go, maybe we need to look at ourselves differently, you
exactly.
know.
Exactly. Yes. And as Stardust K, sorry if I mispronounced that. I got here a little late. And you guys are just talking about like inner critics, right? I'm just like
Yeah.
reading the chat. And yeah, we are our worst inner critics. And I
Hmm.
came to realize that the relationship we have with ourselves serves as the foundation for all of our relationships. Like, if we don't have self love, we're going to look for love externally, and we're going to try to like extract it from other people, but it'll never
Hmm.
fill, it will never
Yeah.
hit the same as our self
Exactly.
love, you
Hmm.
know?
And that's why we seek validation from the wrong places. Instead of validating ourselves, we thrive and we need that external validation in order to see our own value. We got to learn to see our value without that. It's great to
Yeah.
be validated. It's wonderful to be validated.
Mhm.
Um, However, when your worth is attached to that, that's where the problem is.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And that's where like some people pleasing tendencies could come in, where it's just
Yes,
like I beat myself up, so let me look for validation externally. Um,
exactly.
oh, and I really don't want to be rude. Stardust K, they asked like, what is the book about? I'll quickly
Oh,
share.
yes. Let's
Yes,
get into this book because this book is fabulous. Okay. You need to get this book. It's on Amazon. Get this book. It is beautiful. And I honestly felt like I was talking to you. I sometimes when you read self-help books, I feel like they're talking at you. This book felt like we were having this conversation. So tell us about the book.
yeah.
I read it. I loved it, but you're going to tell us in your own word about this book.
Yeah. So along that thread, like what inspired me to write the book was my own depression, my own anxiety. I felt like I didn't know how to be human, you know. Like I was working a really comfy job in corporate, and it was like software development. I have everything on paper was fine, like loving girlfriend, good friends, and yet like I hated myself. And yet I was very critical of myself. And yet I was so self-conscious of my appearance and just everything. And it really took me like going to the Amazon jungle, working with shamans, having the worst night of my life that turned into a really beautiful experience that I realized that, oh my God, I just gotta love myself. I have to learn how to regulate my emotion. I have to learn how to express and communicate myself with other people. That was the inspiration. It was like, oh, I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. I don't want anyone to have to go to the Amazon jungle to find their peace. I want to bring that peace that I found to other
Yes.
people. That's the inspiration for the book. It's like, and the dream, I'll share that here, is to eventually have this information available for children. Like I would love
Yes.
to see schools to be like, hey, you guys ready to learn about how to regulate our emotions? And you could be
Yeah.
playful and fun about it. Like that's the dream here. So I'm happy to share.
Yes. Absolutely. And this book really breaks it down in such a simple way. It doesn't complicate it. It doesn't give you terminology that we haven't been using in our own daily lives. And it really places things in a way that it gives you that clarity that you need. Yes, Mel. How you doing, Mel? Yes, yes. People need this in schools, and I think that one of the things that I liked about it that it really broke it down. And I mean, you would think that someone with your analytical mind and your background would be very complicated in your writing to the point where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I need like a dictionary, a thesaurus, and someone else to read this for me, you know? But it really was such a delightful thing to read. And it
Mm,
gives you that pause when you read it. Like you read a chapter and you're going, I got to think this through. This is interesting. I want to know how to apply this. And I
yes.
know that I was reading about my anger while I was reading that chapter. I believe it's chapter 7 about anger. And I'm reading this chapter, and I just went through a situation that made me very, very angry. And I'm like, oh, I need to start applying some of this stuff that's in here.
Mm.
Because we can get so angry
Mm,
and then it's okay to be angry. The
yeah.
problem is how are we manifesting that anger? How are we allowing that anger to take over, right? And
Yes.
it really breaks it down in such a way that it's such an easy to follow guide. And that's, I think, the problem with some self-help books, that it's a lot of information and no real guidance.
Hmm.
And what drove you to write a book that gave guidance? Like what, why this method of writing? Because there, you could have written it any way you wanted to,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
chose this method. Why this method?
It came very naturally, and to the point of like it using very simple terminology. The first draft of the book was more than double the page that you currently see in the current form. And as I was rereading it, I was like, this is too complicated. Like, if I want to reach more people with this important information, I have to make it as clear and accessible as possible. So I took away all terminology or most terminologies, and it's just like casual talking type of vibe.
Yes.
And I really wanted to make it like not just me sharing information with you, but there's an invitation for you to look into your life. There's reflections, these questions for you to
Yes.
like just reflect on your life.
Absolutely.
Which is why, by the way, I love how you really took the time with the book. Like you read one chapter, you're like, oh yeah, you'll message me and you'll be like,
I
oh, I
did.
really need I really need to pause and take some time to integrate this chapter. And truth be told, you can finish the book in one day. I try to make it as easy to read as possible. And I know people's lives are busy, but I love how you took your time with it because that's what it's about. It's not
Yeah.
about finishing a book. It's more about using the book to guide you in your life so that you can be
Yeah.
more in harmony with life in general. So thank you for that. Genuinely,
Yeah.
you took it in.
I think that books like this need us to read it carefully and really say, okay, how do I put this into practice?
Hmm.
And how do I apply it? How does it go for me? And I like the chapter that you wrote about when you talked about spirituality
Hmm.
and religion, and then you switched it and go, okay, maybe that's not your path, but this
Yep.
is how you can apply it. And I'm like, oh, okay. um that I like because it gave options. It
Yes.
didn't make an assumption that the reader is going to immediately connect with something that it didn't. And that's really important
Right.
because I think that when we write something like that, that is self help, we can't assume everyone is in the same journey or in the same path or mindset.
Hmm.
So it's important to give a more inclusive idea of that.
Mm.
And I thought that was really good. And what inspired you to add that touch to your book, that
Uh,
speak on religion and versus, okay, this is how we do it without it?
Yes, because in my experience, I've seen and met plenty of people who they are religious or they're spiritual and they have like a system, they have a framework to help them navigate life. So they're like pretty set in that front. And then I thought like, but what about the people who don't have a positive experience with religion? What if the people don't have a positive experience with spirituality? They're kind of just left in the dark, and I that didn't sit well with me. And so I really wanted to add that element where like you don't have to rely on any religion. It's just about your relationship with yourself, right? Like some
Exactly.
yeah, like it's just your relationship with yourself, and you just instead of believing in something external, which nothing wrong with that, right? If that's
Yeah,
how you are healthy and happy and just like
exactly. If it
without
works
hurt.
for you.
Exactly. No judgment, right? But some people may get triggered or like get defensive if you bring up any religion. So I want to cater and like still care for those type of people where like, okay, we're not gonna rely on anything external, but I do want you to love yourself. I do want you to care for yourself. I
Yes.
do want you to
Mhm.
trust and believe in yourself. And that's why I wanted to add that extra touch because there's a lot of
Yes.
religious books out there already. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
just not the path that I go through.
Exactly, exactly. But acknowledging that people do go through that path and going, this is how you can view it versus how this is how you can view it. And I'll be honest, when I started that particular area, it was like, ooh, where's this
Hmm.
going?
Hmm.
Made me a little nervous. Made me a little nervous.
Yeah.
Because I don't I'm allergic to religion. Uh, so it's not really my, not something I want. But I said, I want to give this book a proper read, and I have to get through this chapter because I assumed that the whole chapter would be of this when I started reading it. And I said, I'm going to finish it because I want to understand what it's saying. What is this book saying to me? So I gave it a read, and I go, oh, he switched it. He switched it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like that. Okay. Now I felt included, you know?
Right.
And I was like, okay, this is good. I like the switch because I think it's important to have them both there because we live in a world where these things exist, right?
Hmm.
And everyone needs mental health guidance. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is. Now, you started out in engineering. you are taking a whole different path. Um, because you have this wellness brand. Um, how difficult was that journey from being this logical Vulcan thinking, uh, you know how to throw it in there, a person to a more of a mental health, which is a very different set of thinking skills here.
Mm.
How hard was that for you?
Probably the hardest thing I've done. Like it's so challenging, so challenging to walk away from that path and into a new path. Um, yeah, I love that you brought into like the Vulcan element of it because I felt like that. That was my mind. That was
Yes.
my framework. And there's beauty in that. It's great to have logic. I just needed to balance it out with a little bit of mind heart coherence, is how I believe how people describe it. It's like we can live so much up here that we forget to kind of just like be in the heart space. And in the heart space, it's very like gentle. And that's where like sometimes intuition comes in. And sometimes intuition is beyond logic, right? And
Mhm.
but then I was so trained to be up here that I couldn't just exist in the body, and that took a long journey. That's really how I found dancing. It helped me just be in my body, and of course I got to meet lovely people like yourself through dancing. So like
He's an excellent dancer, by the way. I'm gonna
thank
throw
you.
it in there.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm throwing that in there. He's excellent. Now,
Oh,
Stardust Guys has a question. We're gonna reformat that, okay?
okay.
So the question is, as an author, I sometimes have favorite characters when I write. What would be
Mm.
yours and why? But your book doesn't necessarily have characters. So
Ah,
what was your
chapters.
favorite chapter and why?
Yes. Thank you for that question. I would say my favorite chapter is the one, I believe it's chapter 4, Coming Alive with Emotions.
Yes.
Uh, just, I mean,
I like
emotions,
that one too. That was
right?
my favorite
Yeah, I had a lot of
too.
positive feedback about that chapter in particular. And it's like everybody understands this
Mhm.
element of emotion. We all have it, and yet not many of us know how to properly regulate it. And I'll share a little bit about myself in that realm. Asian communities, especially Chinese communities, um, we don't really talk about our emotions, especially not sadness or any of the more somber or vulnerable
Yes.
emotions. And so a lot of us, especially men, they tell us like, hey, you're not allowed to be sad. Boys aren't allowed to be sad. And so we suppress that. And there's a quote in the book too, where like natural emotions, when suppressed, will find unnatural expressions eventually. And and so a lot of us grew up with like men who just explode, they just uncontrollable rage, and it just like comes out
Yeah, because you're
uncontrollably.
holding all of that in for years and years, and it's gonna come out.
Yeah, one way or another, it's gonna come
Mhm.
out. And to someone's point that they've mentioned in the comments just not too long ago, anger is a very powerful emotion, and it's not a
Yeah.
bad thing. At the root of anger, it is actually a great thing. It's a sense of self-worth, right? If you don't have self-worth, you rarely would get angry. You'll just be like, yeah, I probably deserved it. I'm
Yeah.
what's up? Yeah, just beat me up. But anger is like, no, I deserve better than this. I don't deserve to be treated like this. Don't
Mhm.
cross my boundaries. Do not disrespect each
Yes.
other. Anger is very healthy, and you use that to express it in a way that's not destructive, right? You use it to express your own personal self-worth and value. Hey, I don't appreciate that. I appreciate it if you don't do
Mhm.
that again. This is not how I like to be talked to, right? I'm using anger in a controlled way now. And I just love that chapter so much because to me, emotions is what helps us feel alive. It's what
Mhm.
comes to life. Without emotions,
Yes.
I'm just ChatGPT. I'm just AI. I'm just
You're just AI,
logic,
that's
just
right.
logic all day, every
It's
day.
logic. Even
Yeah,
Vulcans have feelings. They just suppress them. And look at how bad that goes for them, people.
exactly. So we gotta balance the mind with the emotional heart.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And I think I love that chapter myself too, because I felt like, yes, he gets it. He gets it. And I was like, I'm seeing the words that I had been feeling. Like
Mhm.
this is it. This is how I've been feeling. This is how I feel about emotions. And I felt like almost insane saying those things out loud. Like you don't say those things out loud. I grew up in an environment that unless you're happy, no one wants to hear about it.
Mm.
And don't be too happy either because that's just a little weird. That's exactly how I grew up. So anything sad is not good. No, no, no. You're doing something wrong if you're sad. So let's fix it. You've got to fix it. Not that someone made you sad or something happened to you, this external situation. Yes, yes, this is a Latino thing too, where you don't talk about being sad, you don't acknowledge it, you don't acknowledge depression. No, you don't have it, get over it. I heard a comedian saying I thought I had ADD, and I went and I was told that I had ADD, but then my mother said you don't, so I don't have it. And this is true. This is how a lot of Latino families behave, where no, you're not depressed, you're fine, you're just lazy, or you're just this, and they label it anything but that. I'd rather be sad than lazy. I'm not sure how they figure out that's the way to label it.
Yeah.
But this is why we grow up not understanding our own feelings, not understanding how to express them. If someone would have asked me 5, 10 years ago, how are you feeling? My only answer would be, I'm fine, because I didn't know how to understand how to answer that question.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I had the right to go, I'm not having a good day today.
Mhm.
And I couldn't, I was not allowed to, I was taught never to express that. So when you start to do that, when you start to say, you know what, maybe I'm not fine, maybe I'm having a day, and it's okay to say that,
Yeah.
you start to feel very uncomfortable about your own feelings until you start to really say it's really truly okay to have these feelings. And I think that that chapter almost gives the reader this permission to say it's okay to be sad or happy or angry, or
Yes.
this is how we you know regulate those emotions, and this is how we do the things. And it's so interesting that I read this book when I did, because a couple of things happened to me as I was reading it, and I'm going, really, did he know this was going to happen? Was this some sort of voodoo I don't know about? Because I'm going to have to murder him now, because what's going on here? I'm reading
Mhm.
this book and stuff is coming at me, and I'm going, I'm just going to apply what I'm learning, because what's the point of reading something like this that you don't apply it into
Exactly.
your life? And
Exactly.
that is the most important thing, is that when we read these things, we try to apply it and try to work it into our lives, because I think it's essential to growing and maturing. And I think it's part of emotional intelligence, which that's something that needs to be taught in school. And I
Mm.
think this book breaks down that emotional intelligence that's needed for people.
Mm.
um
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, I started talking so much.
Oh no, I'm here. I love everything you said. I
You're
love it.
scared? Be
And
afraid.
oh, I'm here. I said I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Oh,
ready to
I heard
receive.
fear. You see the fight and flight in me. You know what I'm gonna say?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm tough. But
yes.
yeah, I mean, it was really this exciting read. I was in a few chapters, and I mean a few pages, and I'm like, I'm digging this book. Like, this is really good. So I was
Thank you.
really excited to read that book. When I told you, oh, I'm excited to read your book, yes, tell me about it, I wanted to just be a supportive friend. I
Thank
did not know
you.
what I was expecting. I did not know if it was going to be good, bad, what was happening here. But
Mhm.
it was amazingly intuitive, amazingly
Mhm.
good. And it really felt like I was having a conversation as I
Mhm.
was reading. And that was most impressive, because I felt like you were really connecting with that reader, one on one,
Yes.
and that's important. And that's a very interesting skill set, because that's hard to do. Did you find that type of writing difficult as you were writing it? Was that your goal?
Yeah. The goal was definitely that. I wanted to feel like a conversation. And I want these like, so a lot of the people that I work with, they say that eventually these things that I say and my voice start to kind of appear in their mind when they most need it, which I'm telling you, that was not intentional. It's not voodoo, I swear. Like
I
it's
think it
just,
is. No,
it's really,
no, that's
it's just like positive
it.
affirmations that just start
Yeah.
appearing in their mind. And I was like, oh, and that's when I saw reading very differently. Like to me, reading a book is a very intimate act. Like when someone reads Inner Care, like the book that I published, my voice or a voice, you're giving life to a voice and you're allowing that thought form to exist in your mind. Like that's so intimate, right? Like right now we're having a conversation, but I don't
Mhm.
this is this in your mind. That's how delicate and that's why I love books. Like it's
Yeah.
just someone else's voice in your mind.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
because it's on wellness and positivity, it's just the right sayings will click and in the right moments these affirmations will bubble up in your mind. I find it very natural and intuitive. Like I went through multiple drafts, so that process was it was a process, but finding that voice, finding that connection with my readers, it came very naturally because I was there. You know, I needed that book. I needed this book like
It was
several
very
years ago.
personal.
Super personal. I was like, how do I say this in a way that I would get it back then when I needed the most, when I had the darkest thoughts about my own self, my own life? Like, how can I reach that Z? And and so that's why it just like I wrote it for that younger childhood version of me and for every other younger version of themselves too. Like it's just we just need that help and
Yeah,
care. And that's why I called it inner care.
absolutely.
It's just care, you know?
Hmm. And you know what I find? It's Sarah, Lady Sunburst. That's Sarah. She's one of our co-hosts here at Sci-Fi Queens.
Hmm,
She's hanging out with us.
awesome.
Um, but one of the things that I found very revealing in the book was that at the end, which was really unexpected,
Mm,
that you open up and
mm,
you're like, book is me. This book is about what I experienced, and you talk about it. Was that a hard choice to put? Because that's very open. That's out there. There's no taking that back. You
mhm,
know,
mhm.
that must have been a hard decision to make. Should I or shouldn't I reveal something of
Mm.
myself?
Mm. You might find it surprising. I actually didn't find that difficult at all.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's mainly because I'm just very open naturally as a person. Like if someone asks me a question, like 99 times out of 100, I will answer unless it's like something I'd rather keep for myself. But it came very naturally because it all to me it all comes down to like can I serve the audience, can I serve the reader, will me sharing this help the reader? And if the answer is yes, then I'm not going to gatekeep my part of the story because it's less about me and more about serving the collective and the reader. So because it serves the collective, I'm like, oh, okay, let me just serve the reader. It would have been more like I don't know if egotistical is the right word. If I withhold that information for myself, I just wanted to make it about the reader. So it's just like, hey, this is my story. Here you go,
Yeah.
and it gives it a bit more of a personal connection when I share a bit about myself.
Now, did you strategically place that at the end, or was it just sort of, this is where it's happening, this is my writing process, and this is where this is coming out? Or was it strategic for you to have people read and then go, oh, wow,
Mhm.
this is where this is coming from?
Yeah, it happened very organically.
Mhm.
In the whole entire book, it was just like me just sitting and just really just putting out there what felt right for me, and I had to go through a process of distilling it. But the last chapter, it just came very naturally. I did not plan for it, but then when it felt right, I didn't hesitate. I'm just like, okay, this is my story, and I had to put it in there so that it's like it hits a little bit more for the readers because and it turned out well. At least I like to believe it turned out well. Like it's the final chapter, right? So I want to leave an impression. I want to leave an impact. Um, so yeah, I considered afterwards, like, maybe I should also have this in the front. So I talked a little bit about it in the intro, but I just felt right to keep
Yeah,
it.
I thought, okay, that's all we're gonna get because that makes sense to me in my brain. But then at the end, I was like, whoa, there's a lot here to unpack. This is a lot of him going out into the world. And that was really beautiful. One of the things that I did notice, and as an art lover, I have to say the artwork was
Mm,
excellent and beautiful.
thank
Who
you.
did your artwork? Was that you?
I can't take all of the credit. I could probably only take like a few percentage because full total transparency, and I mentioned this in the front of the book too. This was meant to be like a non-illustration, just pure
Yeah.
words type of book. But then my friend was like, "No, put some illustrations on there." I had a
Yes.
budgetary constraint, so I had to rely basically on AI to be like, okay, this is my vision, and it gave me a bunch of crap that wasn't good, and I had to like really refine it until it was good,
Yes.
and then I had to edit it a little bit myself to give it the vision.
Mhm.
Um, and I want to work with real artists for future editions because I want to support like true artists. I'm thankful for AI technology to allow me to still create something beautiful with lower budgetary constraints.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. But I
Mhm.
want it to be like a stepping stone so that I can have that human touch from someone else, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And the artwork is beautiful, and it really matched the chapter. And it wasn't overwhelming. It was just this little piece of artwork right there that was so beautifully placed. And it really kind of gives you, I'm very visual. So it gave me this visual of what I'm about to read.
Mm,
And as someone who reads a lot, you don't get artwork unless you're reading a comic.
mm,
And I do read comics. So I get my visual reading artwork from that. But when you're reading a book or a novel, you don't get that. And this was different. And I like
mm.
the way that it captured um, the chapter's essence almost. And it was really nicely done because it didn't feel like this over drawn kind of artwork. It was simple. It was just excellent.
Thank you.
It was really nice. I was like, oh, this is really good. And I
I'm
need to
so
talk
glad you
about this
enjoyed it.
artwork. Yeah,
I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, that was a good move to put the artwork in there. It was very captivating for the chapters and the segments. Like you divide your chapters in a way that really opens it up and makes you feel like um you're reading these parts that you can go back to if something really speaks to you, you want to kind of reread that and see, oh, I need kind of a refresher here. Because the chapters are divided in the way that they are, makes it a lot easier to find things and to go back and reread them, which is important. Now, you founded a wellness brand. It is
Yes.
scrolling at the bottom of this page, his Instagram. There's a link in his Instagram to his website. Talk to us about your wellness brand, the inspiration, what it is that you do, because of course, I checked out your website. I am in your
Yeah.
business.
Love that.
I'm in
Yes.
your
Yes.
business. So I want to know about these retreats. Tell us everything that you can.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Again, thank you so much. Like one for having me, and two just believing in me. It means a lot, Nita. The wellness brand, Moments with Z. It's everything that I wish was taught in school, essentially, and it's founded on three pillars. The first one, self relationship, the relationship we have with ourselves. Two, emotional regulation, learning how to just regulate all spectrums of emotions, and every emotion is valid. We just have to learn how to regulate and express them in a way that's true and not disruptive. And finally, mastering focus. I don't know. Do you struggle with focus? I can say for myself,
Oh, yes, I do. Oh, absolutely. I don't know if it's the
yeah,
massive amount of caffeine or, or if it's
yeah,
natural, but
yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Okay, yes. So those are like the three core pillars of Moments with Z, three core pillars of inner care. And that's what when people decide to work with me one on one, those are the areas that I help them with. You know, like, oh, what is your relationship with yourself? Is it based on criticism or is it based on friendship? Because you can befriend yourself. Like, and how nice would that be to have like
I
a
know, right?
cheerleader, right? Like, hey, you
To be
got
your
this.
own bestie.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And And when you like yourself or like ideally love yourself, then you're in good company. Then you wouldn't even mind moments of just being by yourself, you know? Um, and emotional regulation. My goodness, like that's huge. It's hard for some people to communicate or express themselves when they're just what's going on inside. And
Yes.
sometimes they might say something that ends up being hurtful or disruptive. So like, I just teach people how to just be with their emotions without suppressing it. And then um, communication tips, communication tools to express themselves in a healthy way. And last but not least, mastering our focus. Huge, right? Ginormous. It's unfortunate that they don't teach children how to focus. Just hey,
No,
just
I
pay
was always
attention.
told to focus and never told how. And I would
Mhm,
sit there going, does that
mhm.
mean staring at you? Does that mean repeating every word you're saying in my head so that I can pay attention well? Like I
Yeah,
didn't understand how to do that
yeah,
and how to
and it's
be in the moment.
that's huge. Just being
Mhm.
present, right? It just starts with first understanding how focus works, right? It's our focus naturally goes towards things that we're interested in, right? You can probably talk about science fiction for hours because
Yes, I
that's what you're
can.
interested in. Exactly. And your focus would just be laser beam on that topic
Yes.
because you're interested. And but then in school, it's like we haven't established interest for these children yet, and yet we're
No.
just forcing them to focus. Of course, they're going to have difficulty focusing in that sense, right? And so establishing interest, establishing desire, these are all natural mechanisms that we can
Yeah.
hone in on so that children can learn how to focus. So that's
Yes.
that's that's the entirety, the essence actually of Moments with Z, this wellness brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I run wellness retreats. It's just people that want to have a bit more of an immersive experience in the context of community. uh, we heal much more powerfully with support and within community because then we don't feel as alone. We feel like we got other like peers that can support us through it, and we feel like I'm not the only one going through this. This is so nice. So yeah, that's the essence of Moments with Z, and I'm building out much of this ecosystem so people can
Yeah.
get the help in all shapes and forms, whether it's a book. I'm working on the audiobook version of it because I
Yes.
understand not everybody wants to read or not everybody has the
Yeah.
time to read. I'm like, no problem. I got you in
And
audiobook.
sometimes it's easier to focus on an audiobook
Exactly.
for some
Exactly.
people. Yeah. Now, do you have a retreat coming up that people should know about? Um,
Mm.
do you have dates, plans so that people can go to your website and start looking into that?
Yeah, yeah. Tentatively, we have one planned for upcoming spring, and we don't have like the exact dates just yet, but you can stay tuned by following my Instagram for all
Okay.
information related to that.
Okay, wonderful. Now, what's coming up next for you? Are you writing another book or what's going on that we should know about and be looking out for um, with you?
Yeah, the next thing really is going to be one, the retreat, and two, the audiobook version of this. But I'm also not rushing the audiobook version. I just published this book not too long ago, so I want to make sure like that gets out there. But the two main projects I'm focusing on is that the retreat and the audiobook version of this. And I
Yes.
love that you mentioned comic books because I'm actually a huge graphic novels fan, and that's
Oh,
why I was like, I gotta do illustrations. It just adds to the message, you know, like self
yes.
help, but also you
Yes.
could play with imagery. How awesome is that?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes. And that's the thing with the imagery in this book. It really matched the topic. That's what blew my mind. It's like, this is not just a random image of, oh, look, we got a pretty picture. It matched what you were about to read. It captivated the essence of what you were reading. And that I thought was fantastic.
thank you, thank you. I'm
Mhm.
so glad to hear this. This
Yes.
makes me really happy.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking out for what's coming up next, working on the audiobook. Do you have in the future plans to write another book this in this direction, like
Absolutely.
along the line?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Here's a little sneak peek of what's to
You heard it
come.
here first.
Like literally, yeah, literally here first. Sci-Fi Queens, I'm honored to share this here. I'd eventually like to make like a graphic novels version of the book where you deliver the message through storytelling, through actually characters. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
that's to me, stories are the best way to deliver a message in a
Yes.
easily kind of digestible form and enjoyable form. Like imagine learning about emotional regulation through a story. Like that's the best way to
Yes.
do it. So that's the
Yes.
sneak peek.
It's the
Graphic novel.
sleeping. That's excellent because there. I don't think there, and I could be wrong, but I don't think there is a graphic novel, comic book style self help book for
Mhm.
mental health out there. This would be innovative for sure. This is new.
Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely, that would be excellent.
Yeah, and I'm so
Yes.
excited, and this goes in line because I want to serve like the youth, children, right? And
Yes.
again, they we're in a digital age, so there's like iPads and all these things.
Yes.
I want to make
Yes.
sure like maybe I could still reach them with a graphic novel, with like a cool superhero story, perhaps. I'm just playing
Hmm.
around right now, right? But you know, it could be a great way to introduce children into reading and still learning about personal
Yes.
development, self help,
Oh,
and mental wellness.
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. One of my favorite sci-fi comic book authors. He tells he has a Puerto Rican superhero, and
Mm,
she talks about the ecosystem and the environment in Puerto Rico, and her upbringing is in there. So you're learning as well as having to read this amazing story. And I think that that is truly the best way to go, especially for children, is to get their attention with something they can connect with. I mean, come on, we all grew up with cartoons. Don't we all grew up with cartoons? And it was fantastic. And we all grew up with comics and they were fantastic. So why not create a comic book or graphic novel style mental health book that will help you understand and regulate and control and kind of, okay, this is how my feelings and emotions are, and value that and make
mm,
you into your own best friend, because there's
yes.
nothing more beautiful than knowing who you are and enjoying that and being
Yes.
okay with that. I think that that is wonderful. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on a sci-fi podcast.
Thank you for
That
having me. Look,
was
this,
I this is you are actually the first non-sci-fi book that we have spoken about here. The first non-sci-fi episode we have ever had in
I'm
Sci-Fi
honored.
Queens.
I'm honored.
Yes, and I really encourage everyone to get this book. It's on Kindle, it's on hardcover, paperback. Get it on Amazon. Where else can they get the book? Let us know if I'm missing any other areas, because we
You
want
got
everyone to know where to get
yes, yes, you got it all. The best way to find it is to type in "Inner Care: A Simple Guide to Coming Alive" on
it.
Amazon. Let me show
Yes.
you the front cover. Is
I
this
love the
one?
front cover.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just about the inner care. It's very
Hmm.
intuitive, just caring for your
Yeah.
inner world of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And right now, Amazon is the
Yes.
best place to get it. Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh, no problem. Well, we're going to thank everyone for being with us here. You guys, I will be posting this on Spotify tomorrow. Before we go, I do want to announce our next episode. Very important. It's going to be February 6th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be celebrating Black History Month, and we are going to start with Afrofuturism. That is what we're going to be talking about. We have a guest coming. All of the sci-fi queens will be on, and we're going to be celebrating the entire month of February, and we're dedicating it to Black History Month. But thank you guys for being here, and we will see you February 6th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for watching the Sci-Fi Queens, and be sure to support us on all our social medias and check out our website